Alright, well, we got our leaf spring cut to size. The next step, what we're going to go ahead and do is to straighten this guy out. It's got a nice little curve in it. Just going to stick it in the forge, get it nice and hot. We'll flatten it out, let it cool off, and we'll mark out our design and get ready for the next step. Alright, as you guys just saw, I started grinding the fuller on this guy. And this side turned out pretty good, but I ran into some issues on this side. And there's actually kind of a low spot in this metal. And originally I kind of wanted to try to keep this surface finish. I thought it'd look kind of cool and more antique maybe. But it's not looking too good. So I'm going to go ahead and try to redesign this knife and see if we can't salvage it and make something that is truly one of a kind. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, well, all I can say on that is, wow, that is a lot different than anything I've ever made before. So the plan here, I guess, I'm going to go ahead and try to bevel the backside as well as the edge and sharpen this spine as well, like a giant barb, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. We're just going to kind of work with it, and what it ends up looking like, I'm not even sure myself. So let's get started. Alright, got the blade all roughed out, rough ground. It's definitely a rather interesting blade. The next step here, I want to fit this for a D-guard, so I'm going to go ahead and anneal this file in the forge, heat it up and let it cool down really slowly so it'll be easier to work with. And we'll go ahead and lay out the shape for the D-guard, get that fit up, and start working on some of this handle before we heat treat it. But let's go. Alright, the file's in the forge cooling off. When that's done, we'll be ready to cut the grooves and everything for that. Until then, picked out some material for the handle. I'm just going to use some red oak. Something easy. Pretty much we just need to lay out the lines and mill our slots in here to where we can fit this over. Alright, well, the knife has been hardened and tempered in the oven for at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours, and that should be good. I went ahead and made a cardboard template that was the same size as this file, so I could get the distance between the hole on the back, which is where the pommel is going to go on, and where the tang is going to fit on here. And the best way to do that, really, get an idea roughly where it's going to go. So something to the effect of that, and obviously clean that up. And this top part's probably going to be bent down. But let's go ahead. I already got the lines and everything marked out on the file, so all we got to do is drill out these holes and file out the slot here, and we'll be good to go. Alright, well, I saved you the boring part of filing this slot out. I had to mill this groove in right here because it was making the shoulders of this knife stand up. But gotta hammer it in there to get it all the way. That's what it's gonna look like. Now we just gotta bend this around to create the D-guard, and I'm also gonna be putting a slot in right here and weld a bolt in for the pommel that'll hold everything together. So the next step here is we're gonna go ahead and bend this to fit, hopefully, this handle. We'll see how it goes. Definitely can be a little finicky. Well, let's get started. Oh, I got ahead of myself here. First, we need to go ahead and shape this file and cut off what we don't need first before we go ahead and bend it, and we'll make it a lot easier. So let's get in there and get the angle grinder out and do some cutting real quick. Well, I've only done a handful of these D-guards like this, and it does not get any easier at all, I must say. Not too bad, pretty good fit. I'm gonna have to make this handle material a little bit smaller to get it to fit in there. It's not quite, but we'll make it fit. So the next thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is I need to glue these two together and get ready for shaping. Alright, well I was gonna weld the screw in here, something like that, and then I decided to take a different route and just use a friction fit, which is like that. Should be pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and put it together here. And that is what's gonna hold it all together. So the next step, this glue should be plenty dry by now. We need to shape this to fit inside here and then round it. And I'm planning on doing a paracord wrap over the wood to finish out the handle. Alright, well, it's done. Definitely one of my more unique knives here. Never made anything quite like it. Pretty rustic looking. Probably gonna end up calling it the Harpoon knife or something like that. Definitely a very cool sword. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I sure enjoyed making it and look forward to the next project. Until then, if you guys are interested in purchasing a knife, I got a bunch of, or not a bunch, but a few of these pipe wrench Tonto knives made, ready to go. So a link should pop up here to my Etsy store where you can get one for yourself. But other than that, guys, please like, please subscribe, and see you next time.